Snom is one of the worst Pokemon of all time, with stats worse than a literal cricket. But this one is different. Through sheer determination and a lot of luck, it's somehow beaten all 8 gym leaders in the Galar region. But the journey isn't over yet, because standing between Snom and the title of champion is Leon. But before Nom even gets the chance to face him, there are still many tough battles up ahead. So now, once and for all, it's time to find out, can you beat Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield using only a Snom? 5 years after Nom earned her final badge, our journey resumes. Hop and I are on the train to Winden, the grand stage of the Champion Cup. But they're not gonna throw us straight at Leon. And let's be real, even with nearly 30 levels on him, Nom isn't going to stand a chance against his Charizard yet. Instead, we're called into the stadium to fight our first match of the semifinals against Marnie. In theory, this should be a very good matchup for Nom, since Marnie specializes in dark Pokemon and Nom dominates them. However, the moment the battle starts, I get an immediate reminder that Snom is slow. Marnie's Liepard fires off probably the most annoying move it could have possibly used, Torment, making it so I can't just use Bug Buzz to win this battle. We're at least able to get a clean one-hit KO off on the Liepard, starting this battle off with some great momentum. Toxicroak enters the ring next, and Nom lines up an Icy Wind, which somehow completely misses. On top of that, Toxicroak kinda hits pretty hard. Then came Swagger. I really don't like this move. We end up confused with boosted attack, and of course, Nom hurts herself in confusion. To add insult to injury, Toxicroak hits me with one final Sucker Punch before I'm able to Icy Wind it to its doom. Marnie sends out her 4th Pokemon, Morpeko, and it goes for Spark. Kind of a weak move from the Champion Cup, but of course, paralyzed. Confused and paralyzed, the odds are stacked against her, but Nom pulls through and wipes out the Morpeko with a Bug Buzz. With only 49 HP, Marnie sends out her final Pokemon, Grimmsnarl. And before I even know what happens, it's Gigantamaxed right in front of me. That thing kinda looks like Venom. We use our Dynamax here, but it's really not looking good. Tormented, confused, and paralyzed, I'm looking for any modicum of hope I can get. A very powerful G-Max Snooze comes our way, and we're able to survive by the skin of our teeth thanks to Dynamax doubling our HP. And Nom thankfully fires off a Max Flutterby and is able to one-shot the Grimmsnarl. Being both confused and paralyzed, there was almost a 50-50 chance that I could have just lost that battle right then and there. Nom, I could already tell the rest of this is not gonna be easy. With Marnie defeated, I'm thinking, great, now I can go rest up again for 5 more years, but this guy walks up and says, nope, we're up again. I'm thrown right back onto the battlefield to fight Leon's little brother, Hop. He's stronger now, way more confident, but absolutely still shaped like an acorn. Out comes a Double, and I'm immediately scared that it might go for a body press on me, but somehow it finds something even more annoying to do. Are you kidding me? Turn 1, we're already paralyzed? Alright, Nom's had enough. When his Corviknight comes out, a Pokemon that would normally annihilate Snom, I slam that Dynamax button like it's an alarm at 5 in the morning. Corviknight, gone. Snorlax Pinurchin, deleted. And when Rillaboom tries to fight back with its own Dynamax, one shot. Just like that, Hop is down. Maybe, just maybe, Snom does have a chance after all. Leon shows up after the battle, and this is it, Nom. This is the moment we've been training for. Wait, he wants to go out to dinner? So we head back to our hotel to wait for Leon. And we're waiting, and waiting, but Leon is nowhere to be found. Piers, who must have overheard our dinner plans and wanted to join us, tells us that Leon was headed over to the Rose Tower. So the 3 of us, bellies rumbling, head on over to look for him. However, as soon as we head outside of the hotel, we bump into Oleana, Chairman Rose's assistant. She says there's a very important meeting going on at the tower, and we can't disturb it unless we find a special key. Oh, look, there it is. Once we break into the tower, Hop and I immediately head for the elevator because you just know, any very important meetings must happen at the top floor. It's a rule. The other rule, bad guys always have to attack you on the elevator. And let me just say, even though I just kicked Hop's butt, I'm really glad that he's helped me out here in this battle. Mawile and Clang usually aren't very scary Pokemon on their own, but they resist every single move that Nom knows. And on top of that, this Mawile, I don't know what's going on with it, but it's flinching me every single turn. 30% chance, by the way. This quickly proved to be way too much for Nom to handle. Only a few turns in, Nom's health is extremely low. And all it takes is a random gear grind from the Clang, and Nom is gone. Tell me how these two rando grunts are harder than Marnie and Hop combined? With Nom down, I'm completely dependent on Hop to get me out of this battle. We're doomed, Nami. But by some miracle, a body slam takes out the Clang and Hop evens up the playing field. The Mawile gets doubled down to 1 HP, but Hop goes for the massive, gigantic brain play of going for reversal, which does more damage the lower your HP is. And Hop, by himself, managed to take down both of the Macrocosmos people. And hey, we didn't white out, we did win the battle, so we can keep going. Thanks, Hop, I owe you big time. At the top of the tower, we find Oleana waiting for us. I don't know what happened, but she's in a completely manic state right now. She will absolutely not let us disturb Chairman Rose and immediately jumps into a battle with me. Going into this, I'm feeling pretty good. I have a great win streak going on right now, and Hop saved me from the brink of death. Her first Pokemon, Frostlass, even though it resists my moves, is pretty non-problematic and goes down in 2 turns. However, her second Pokemon terrifies me. Salazzle comes in, and if you remember back to the Kabu fight, Nom does not do well against Fire-type Pokemon. We immediately go for the Dynamax for any sort of chance of survival, and am able to take the Incinerate quite nicely from it. Max Hailstorm leaves Salazzle with a sliver of health, and the actual hail damage itself manages to knock the thing out. Her Serena comes in next, which does a surprising amount of damage with Acrobatics, and I'm pretty happy to have all that extra Dynamax HP right now. My Lodic, despite reminding me of Cynthia, is quite easy to deal with, and suddenly Oleana is on her final Pokemon. Literal trash. Looks like we can still make our dinner plans with Leon. Wait a second! Max Rockfall! Sometimes it's the Pokemon that you least expect that ruin your day. Now sure, we lost, but I feel like we got really close to winning that battle, so I gave Nom a couple more levels and went back with a slightly revised strategy. This time, instead of Dynamaxing right away, I'm gonna save it for the garbage. But that's way easier said than done, because all of Oleana's Pokemon create annoying problems if you don't take them out right away. Frostlass, it turns out, can burn me, and Salazzle has poison gas. If either of these touch Snom, I can't make it to the Garbodor with enough HP to survive anything. And let's not disregard the fact that when I'm not Dynamaxed, both Serena and Salazzle hit me like a truck. I tried this fight over and over and over again, and I think on my 8th attempt, I realized something really wasn't working, and the #1 culprit was that moveset. Snom doesn't get access to a wide variety of moves, but it does get access to one hidden gem, Mirror Coat. When I Dynamax, this turns into the powerful Max Mindstorm, which is enough to one-shot the Garbodor. But there's a catch. There's always a catch. She can't learn this by level up, and she definitely can't learn it by TM. So I had to get a little creative. We left the Tower of Terror behind us and went and caught an Orbeetle, making sure it knows the move Mirror Coat, and I let Nom and our Beetle buddy hang out in the daycare. I looked away for just a moment and aww, out popped a little baby Nom Jr. Maybe one day this one will take on a region all by itself. And after Nom and her daughter got some bonding time in, the move finally transferred over. I also figured now would be a really good time to get Snom to level 100 and change its EVs up a little bit so it could be more defensive and survive hits slightly better. And it looks like all of our hard work paid off. With a bulkier build and luck on my side, we quickly ran through Oleana's first 4 Pokemon and were once again face to face with the Garbodor. Dynamax versus Gigantamax. I told Nom to lock in a Max Mindstorm and just hoped that the incoming Max Rockfall wouldn't hurt too much. But the Garbodor threw the match and decided to go for G-Max Malodor, which Nom took like a tank, and we finally were able to send this Pokemon to the dump. And all it took was Nom getting to the max level and becoming a parent. How are we ever gonna beat Leon? After losing, Oleana backs off, and wait a second, Rose and Leon were there the whole time? What did we have to do that battle for? For what we could hear, it seems like Rose is trying to get Leon to cancel the tournament to tackle some problem that's 1,000 years out. No, that's silly. There's no way that's actually what's going on, right? The very next day, the finals begin. There's only a couple trainers left standing between Nom and Leon. Before I have a chance to fight my real opponent, Bede jumps in out of nowhere and demands a rematch against me, wagering his career as a trainer on this battle. Those are some pretty high stakes, buddy. You better be bringing some powerful oh, not again. Surely, this Mawile cannot be as annoying as the last one, right? So, since I'm obviously not gonna one-shot a Mawile with resisted moves, I try to go for Icy Wind, so I can at least outspeed it next turn. Mawile goes for a signature Iron Head, and you've got to be kidding me. Another flinch! I think it's getting pretty clear now. Forget Charizard, Mawile is clearly Nom's arch nemesis. Mawile strikes another Iron Head into Nom, and thankfully we don't flinch and am able to counter back with an Icy Wind, which now gives us the speed advantage, but this is not looking too good. One Pokemon in, and half of Nom's health is already gone. Fortunately, Mawile is really the only difficult Pokemon that Bede had. Even though we can't one-shot any of his Pokemon, and this is probably gonna be the only time I ever say this, Snom is actually kind of bulky enough to take hits pretty well from everything he threw at us. Sorry, Bede, your career is over. Easy win for Nom. Who's next? Who wants to catch these frozen little hands? Well, we aren't gonna have to wait very long to find out. This is the final day of the tournament, and from here on out, our matches are going to be back-to-back until we get to the big guy. First to face Nom's finals wrath is Nessa, leading with the big bad Goliciopod. Surprisingly, instead of going for first impression, she spends her first turn setting up a Swords Dance. But even more surprisingly is Nom is actually able to one-shot this thing with Bug Buzz. Nice job, Nom. Next comes in Pelipper, which on entry immediately sets up Rain. Kinda scary considering her team is full of water types. But instead of fighting me in the rain, it just decides to waste turns healing. Seaking swims in next, and this poor guy, it still thinks it's Gen 1. It tries poking Nom with its little horn and instantly faints on contact. Give Seaking a Mega Evolution, please. But just when I start thinking this battle is in the bag, Nessa throws out her Barraskewda, a glass cannon Pokemon with incredibly high attack. I instantly Dynamax out of fear, so we can counter her liquidation with my own Max Flutterby and get to see her ace, Dreadnought. As we just experienced with the Oleana fight, Rock-type moves give me a major problem, especially when they come off of a Rock-type Pokemon. But I'm feeling pretty great right now. Our HP is high, and we still have 2 turns left on our Dynamax. Dreadnought Gigantamaxes, showing me how serious it is by standing up on its 2 hind legs. Naturally, Dreadnought moves first, and you already know it's coming, Max Rockfall. Nom tanks it quite well, but it still does over 200 points of damage. Not ideal, little buddy, but we're still standing. I strike back with my Max Flutterby, and it hits very hard, bringing Dreadnought down into the yellow. It all comes down to this. We're both low, and whoever moves first wins the battle. And sadly, it's going to be Dreadnought. Nom goes down. Only 1 move away from winning the battle, but we couldn't get it out because Nom was just too slow. Crunching the numbers, I realized Nessa's Dreadnought has exactly 94 speed, so if I could make Nom just 1 single point faster, we could win this battle. That meant giving Nom precisely 200 EVs in speed, just enough to sneak past that Dreadnought. On the rematch, everything went perfectly. Sure, we took more damage from our Max Rockfall this time, but it didn't matter. This time, when it came down to the wire, Nom struck first. The first round results are in, and oh, thank goodness somebody took out Kabu. My second finals match puts me up against Allister, the ghoul with the team that's so annoying for Nom that I think playing Sword and going up against the fighting gym leader might be easier. Ghost resists bugs, so almost immediately half of my moveset is useless. And that's not even the worst part. His first 3 Pokemon all have extremely effective moves against me. As if Nom's defenses weren't bad enough, now everything is a threat. To say that my first attempt went badly would be an understatement. Nom barely got past the Dusknoir and was obliterated by the Chandelure. So we switched back to a bulkier Nom build, but even that proved not to be enough. Rock Tomb is the bane of Nom's existence. Getting hit by a single one? is an auto lose. Not only does it hit for ridiculous damage, but it makes it so his whole entire team outspeeds me forever. To win this battle, I quite literally needed a perfect run. Dusknoir cannot go for Rock Tomb. Chandelure, which for some reason only knows 3 attacks, must either go for Shadow Ball or Will-O-Wisp. Mystical Fire, of course, does too much damage and also lowers my special attack. So if a single one hits me and I miraculously survive, I just can't hurt his team anymore. This resulted in me resetting the battle a lot. If things went wrong with either of those 2 Pokemon, it was game over. On my 27th attempt, I got a run where Allister played somewhat nicely. His first 2 Pokemon threw out Shadow Punch and Will-O-Wisp, meaning, hey, we don't auto-lose. I'm able to retaliate and kill off his Chandelure by using my Dynamax on the 2nd turn of the battle. Thanks again for the Mind Storm, Nom Jr. Cursula materializes next, which we're able to outspeed and KO only because we didn't get tuned. But trust me, Allister is not gonna go down this easily. This man goes for the incredibly smart play with his Poltegeist to protect, making it so he survives my Max Hailstorm and wastes my final turn of Dynamax. What could have been a massive Snom sweep has been ended here, and he still has 2 Pokemon left. A Shadow Ball gets hurled my way. Did I mention this move has a 20% chance to lower my special defense? This is another spot where if I get unlucky, Nom is cooked. Monster Mash is on his last Pokemon. His Gengar turns into a little bouncy house, but Nom isn't here to play. Despite looking big and scary, especially compared to my Snom, Gengar has always had one weakness. It's extremely low defenses. He conjures up a Max Ooze. This move sounds disgusting, and even more disgusting is how it boosts Gengar's special attack. Our only hope here is Icy Wind, which thankfully does more than half of Gengar's health. Despite lowering its speed, Gengar still moves first, going for G-Max Terror, hoping to be the last move we ever see. But Nom, the legend, survives. Now Nom,
finish him!
Between Rock Tomb, the fire moves, Shadow Ball lowering my special defense, this battle stressed me out. But finally, she takes the win. Nemona really came around the generation too late. She would have loved this tournament. The results are in, and my final opponent before I get to face Leon is the strongest gym leader in Galar and Leon's very own rival, Raihan. This guy clearly knows I'm bringing a Snom. He dropped his gym leader team and decides to lead with a Torkoal, setting up a blazing sun ready to exploit Snom's biggest weakness. Thankfully, most turtles not named Dreadnought are pretty slow. Nom strikes first with a Bug Buzz, landing some solid damage. Torkoal retaliates with a sun-boosted Lava Plume, and ooh, it hurts. Because we outspeed, we're able to dispose this thing, and oh, Fire Turtle down. Thank goodness. I'm glad he only has another Fire Turtle. Well, buddy, you had a good run. Turtonator acts first, going for Shell Trap. A scary move, but it only works if Turtonator gets hit by a physical attack. And Nom is all special. The trap fizzles, and we narrowly dodge death. And for whatever reason, Turtonator tries going for it again, and faints for it. Raihan, you had a fire type in the sun! I was dead! What are you doing? It looks like we put out Raihan's fire because his next Pokemon is Goodra. And for some bizarre reason, it goes for Rain Dance, which just gives me a free Icy Wind. Next turn, he tries going for Surf. I guess he thinks Goodra is a water type, but it barely even dents us. Flygon soars in next, and oh, finally a good matchup for Nom, and instead of even trying to attack me, he sets up Sandstorm? How is this guy Leon's rival? Maybe his last Pokemon, Duraludon, is just so powerful that he was just toying with us and now he's going for the kill. Or maybe he'll just set up Hail. We both maximize ourselves, and I'm sitting here thinking there's no way the final battle can be this easy. And he proves me right with a terrifying Max Rockfall. Yes! We hang on with just 36 HP, giving us just enough wiggle room to fire back with a max hailstorm and take the win. That battle was so ridiculously lucky. If dude just stuck with one weather condition, or if the Eternatus didn't waste all of its turns, we would have lost. But today is our day. Nom wins the tournament, and the path to Leon is finally open. There he is, the champion aura farming, waiting for us on the battlefields. Every battle, every badge, every moment has led us to this. Can Nom the Snom make history and beat the champion all by herself? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to find out. Is what I would like to say. Rose pops up on a massive screen, letting us know he's activated the Darkest Day, unleashing ancient energy to, in his words, secure the future of Galar. But naturally, he has no idea how to control it. So instead of fighting the champion, I get sent into the slumbering weld with Hop. At least the music here is incredible. Hop and I grab this old sword and shield just chilling in the ground, waiting for some epic legendary Pokemon to show up and save the day. And here they are, Zacian and Zamazenta, but they just disappear back into the fog. I guess we're on our own for this one. Back in Hammerlock, we head deep down into the power plant where we come face to face with Rose. In classic villain fashion, he's monologuing about how we don't understand his vision, and it's his destiny to give Galar limitless energy. However, as he initiates the battle, I'm almost getting a sense of regret from him with the way he's gazing at that Pokeball. But I immediately regret fighting him because out comes a Scavalier, a nasty steel type. But it could be worse, at least it's not Mawile. Nom outspeeds it, and I celebrate for a split second, until Bug Buzz connects and barely scratches it. My strongest move is going to take 3 hits. Uh-oh. We land another Bug Buzz, but Iron Head comes crashing my way, one-hit KOing my level 100 Snom at full HP. This is his first Pokemon, by the way. Alright, we're changing strategy. If we're going to faint that quickly, we might as well swap the Eviolite for the Silver Powder so our Bug Buzz does a little more damage. This turns it into a 2-hit KO, but Iron Head still does ridiculous damage. A speedy second Bug Buzz lets us finally take this thing down, and we get to see his second Pokemon, Berserker. And that's when it hit me. His entire team is Steel. Nom is going to be miserable here. I know my chances of winning this time are already in the toilet, so I throw out my Dynamax here just for some hope of a miracle. A plan that's immediately ruined by a speedy Iron Head. Another loss. Failure after failure after failure. I was starting to lose hope. Could this right here be where Nom ends her journey? Is it even possible to get to Leon? But Nom did not give up, and Arceus smiled down and gave her the godliest run. A Scavalier sets up instead of attacking. Berserker, well, there's no way to really put it. It still hurts a lot. But at least we have a chance here to see his third Pokemon, Ferrothorn. Finally, something that doesn't resist Bug. Easy one-shot. Out comes a Klinklang, and we Dynamax. But, once again, due to Nom's poor speed, it moves first and takes us out. After even more labbing it out, I cracked it. I can't change the fact that this is just a horrible matchup for Nom, but I can work on her speed, something that's making Iron Head go first and obliterate my HP. So I went all in with a hyper-offensive build to maximize Nom's offense and give it just enough speed to be quicker than the majority of his team. And I made a sneaky and very important change to its moveset. His first 3 Pokemon go down easily, getting outsped in one shot by my optimized strategy. Klinklang is always going to be faster than me, so I realized the best way to defeat it was to Dynamax here. And when I got a run where it missed its gear grind, I realized this might be my chance. We're at full health going into his final Pokemon, but that Copper Elephant is about to be my biggest problem yet. Bulky packs a massive punch and will have 3 turns of boosted Gigantamax power while I only have 2 left on my Dynamax. And depending on my luck, Max Flutterby could either be a 2 or a 3-hit KO. But regardless of what happens, he only needs 2 turns guaranteed to take me out with G-Max Steel Surge. But this is where my moveset change comes into play. Instead of attacking him, we stall. Max Guard. This completely protects me for the turn and wastes one of his. Turn 2, Max Flutterby goes first, and I actually get a very lucky damage roll. He counters back with Steel Surge, doing 222 points of damage to me. My Dynamax fades away here. Another Steel move would surely be the end of Nom. But this turn, instead of risking an attack, we protect, shielding me from the brunt of his damage and wasting his final Gigantamax turn. Now, he's a much smaller elephant with health low enough for me to buzz him away. Woo! Despite this feeling impossible, we finally get the win. Oh, this battle took so many tries, I almost forgot we're supposed to be saving the world. Right outside, the monster itself, Eternatus. But Leon made it here first. He throws his Pokeball, and it instantly breaks out. Come on, Leon, you're a champion and you don't know you're supposed to weaken the Pokemon first? Let me show you how it's done. Oh, I forgot to heal after Rose. Honestly, if we're the best Galar has, maybe it should get destroyed. Let's try this again. Now that we're fully healed, despite going up against an all-powerful legendary Pokemon, Nom isn't worried at all. Eternatus fires off its signature Dynamax Cannon. Why it went for this move when it has Flamethrower, we'll never know. But I'm glad that it did, because it gave Nom a chance to land an Icy Wind, leaving that monster with a shard of HP. Even after having its speed reduced, Eternatus still outspeeds us, and Dynamax Cannons one more time. And let's just appreciate how lucky Nom got here. All Eternatus needed to win this battle was to just go for Flamethrower twice. Dynamax Cannon was such a throw. Regardless, Nom did it! Eternatus down! The world is... oh. Yeah, there was no way it was gonna be that easy. Outraged, it lost to a Snom. It turns into Master Hand and becomes the most powerful Pokemon of all time. Even with Hop on my side, this is going to be a really tough battle, and we quickly realize Nom is way too scared to move. It looks like I'll have to jump in on this one, so I whip out my shield like Captain America, and this finally gives Zacian and Zamazenta the motivation to come out of their hiding and fight this beast. This has been the battle I've been waiting for the whole entire run. Despite Eternamax Eternatus being crazy powerful, there's no way it can win a 4v1. Nom and friends land some amazing hits on Eternatus and were able to knock it out, finally capturing the thing and saving the day. In the aftermath, Rose was thrown into jail, Eternatus was thrown into the box, and Nom is about to be thrown into the greatest match of her life. She's pushed herself through every gym, every legendary, every impossible fight, and she has to do it one more time. There's only one trainer left standing between Nom and the title of Galar Champion, and he's standing right here waiting for me. Day 1. This will be attempt number 1 against Champion Leon. Leon's first Pokemon is the worst of Allister and Rose combined. We're going up against Aegislash, a Pokemon that can deal massive damage and then hide behind an almost Deoxys level shield. Very fitting of a champion. With that typing, my most viable attack is Icy Wind, but we have to take a massive Flash Cannon first. Did we just miss? We can't miss turn 1. That's not how it's gonna go. On our second try, we finally get to play some ball. Flash Cannon still hitting us for way too much damage on turn 1, and I know after this battle's over, we need to fix Snom up a little bit. However, an Icy Wind and Mirror Coat combo at least let us get to see his second Pokemon, Dragapult. Typing-wise, this match is in our favor. Oh yeah, it has Flamethrower. From what I've already seen, the Rose EV spread is not gonna work here. We need to bulk up so we don't die in 2 hits. And looking at Leon's whole team, he has a pretty good mix of physical and special attackers, so it's kinda hard just to prepare against one. But since we're just trying to get through his first couple of Pokemon right now and they're all special attackers, I gave Nom an emphasis on special defensive bulk, with enough speed and special attack investment as well, where we can win some critical matchups later on in the fight if we even see them. And finally, we need to do something about Nom's HP. Since we're not using items and we're running out of health quickly, I need a way to heal, otherwise there's no way I'm making it to the end game. So we make a detour back to a town we haven't been to in 5 years. Balloonlay for the incredibly important TM Rest. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that makes this an actual viable strategy. Enter Struggle Bug, a move we haven't used in a while since it's weaker than Bug Buzz, but its special ability of lowering your opponent's special attack when it lands is incredibly useful. Theoretically, I could go up against a Pokemon, use this move, lower their special attack, and then heal up with Rest. Will it work out? I don't know. Now we have Rest for recovery, but that being said, there's not a lot of Pokemon we can just kind of wall with the Snom. Look at that, we tank it so much better now. Mirror Coat, reflect it right back at him. Aegislash down. All right, one down. Now, this is where things get spicy. I kind of want to just kill it and see what he sends out for his third Pokemon for more info. All right, here's the Flamethrower. All right, Nom, knock him out. Knock out that Dragapult. Oh, come on, really? Yep, that's a reset. The new strategy is giving me mixed results. We can take out Aegislash consistently, but I'm still struggling to get through that Dragapult. And if I do get lucky enough to take that out, I just instantly lose to his third Pokemon. Trying my Rest strategy against Dragapult is also a terrible idea. Sure, I get a full heal, but since I'm asleep for 2 turns, he can just Flamethrower me twice and get me right back to where I started. And its ability, Clear Body, stops me from lowering its special attack. I'm starting to think they put this Dragapult here just to counter me. By my 6th attempt and still getting walled by this thing, chat was starting to lose hope. Would you rather use items or friendship to win this? I'd rather use neither. Dynamax, bringing out the big Nom. With Dynamax doubling my HP, I'm able to take a hit from Dragapult now and not be flirting with death. I didn't want to use it this early on in the battle, but I also want to see more of his team and not get walled here forever. I really hope using it early like this doesn't bite me later on. Haxorus comes in next, a Pokemon that I've been extremely concerned about because it's fast and has a super effective physical move against me. Oh, now we get the miss with Iron Tail. Okay. Well, that makes me feel kind of bad about using this, but we're actually going to get into the 4th Pokemon with a lot of HP. Oh, Mr. Rhyme. Wait, he has a Mr. Rhyme? Wait, what team is he using? I thought... It was at this point that I realized I was preparing against the wrong Leon team. I wonder what this thing can do to us. Okay, only Psychic. We tank that well, so Mr. Rhyme in the future might be like a Pokemon we could heal up on and tank. Hey, there we go! We actually got to see Pokemon number 5 this stream. Nom has made it way further into his team than I thought she could on the first day. However, our Dynamax is done and our health is low. The only chance we have at surviving and maybe, just maybe, seeing Leon's Charizard is if we can get off a successful rest here. However, Inteleon goes for the kill shot. Can we tank the Pew Pew? Oh, we can! We can tank the Pew Pew really well. Wait, this might be... Hold up, we might actually beat Leon right now. I realize this could be the run. I was looking for a Pokemon that would let me heal up against it. Snipe Shot is a special attacking move, and we have Struggle Bug to lower Inteleon's special attack even lower, making it do less damage every turn, and then we could heal up with Rest. This play can be risky, but there's also a chance that I could make it into his Charizard at near full HP. The fact that my Struggle Bug is also a 4-hit KO against this thing works even more in my favor. And just when I get him into the red, he uses a full restore. Now I can get even more Struggle Bugs off on him. See, this right here is why you don't use items. Inteleon, get farmed by a Snom. Alright, Nom woke up, hit him with the Struggle Bug, and that's it. Inteleon is down. I am so glad he had that Inteleon. That was like a huge gift to me. And we are about to quickly find out if that was truly a gift or Leon was just toying with me, because here comes his ace, Charizard! On paper, there's no way my attacks can do anything against a Gigantamax Charizard. But using the move Nom Jr. gave us so long ago, we might just be able to turn that Charizard's own strength right back at him and take a crazy victory. Mirror Coats, lock it in. I'll show you what Charizard can really do. It's Gigantamax time. I'm about to show you what Nom can do, Leon. Will Nom finally beat Sword and Shield after all these years? Come on, Nom, I believe in you. Max Rocks Fall. That's good. We can take it. We can take it. Okay. Mirror Coat, fire it right back. Right back at him. And oh, it's down to half. It's down to half. Oh no. Both of us in the yellow right now. The next turn ends the battle. But Rockfall is Leon toying with us. His Charizard has G-Max Wildfire in its arsenal, a move that could potentially end my run. It all comes down to this. I'm scared. I'm actually shaking. Please. Let this be the run. Another Max Rockfall, please, no, please take it, please, please, please. Please take it, please take it. Oh, wait a second. We did it! Yes! Yes! Let's go! Let's go! Nom, you're the greatest. Nom, you're the greatest. I love you. I love you so much, Nom. Oh my, we did it! I thought we were gonna be doing this for like a month. I can make Snom 3 and it'll have the happy ending. After all this time, it is my honor to introduce you to Nom, the Galar Champion. Thank you all so much for coming along with Nom on her journey. And thank you to everybody that believed and pushed me to make this video happen. It quite literally took years to make. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe for more Pokemon content coming your way very soon. Thanks again for watching, and I'll be seeing you in the next one.